Michigan's rock station. Q106.
What's up? It's Q106. It's Terry Stevens, and this is Craig Lee Thomas. What's happening, brother?
What's up, rockers and rollers? How are you guys? What's up, Terry?
Oh, dude, I'm so excited. The voice of the Super Earth spokesperson is coming to Capital City Comic Con as a guy who's logged more than a few hours in Helldivers too. Nice work, brother.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you for spreading democracy. I'm throwing you a big Helldiver salute over here. Big ups for freedom and liberty.
There you go. Oh man, perfect. You'll love to hear it. And then are you a gamer? How many hours have you?
Oh, listen. I'm in there. I'm an admiral. I'm maxed out on my requisition slips and samples just like the rest of you. Really been loving the new updates. I'm currently trying to get all the bugs off of Super Earth. So
yeah, good man.
The ties, you know?
Good man.
Yeah.
Standing up for it, man. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. And I'm seeing on the shelf in the back here. Are those Magic the Gathering cards? What are they?
Listen, there's a whole lot of nerdy stuff back here. Some of which are definitely Magic the Gathering cards. We got the RPG shelves down here. We got the Helldiver helmet, of course, right here. All kinds of so much room for activities in here, for sure.
So you are going to be in heaven at Capital City Comic Con. So in addition to blowing your checks on all the comics and collectibles and stuff, what do you love about attending these cons, man?
Oh man, absolutely number one with a bullet. No other answer possible is meeting people. You know, getting to engage with fans, getting to engage with the community. I always say, especially Helldivers. I'm biased, but I think Helldivers 2 has the best community in gaming. Everybody's always in the world and doing little role play on the mic, and people are making amazing Helldiver costumes, and they're so into the lore and stuff. So you're so isolated as a voice actor because, you know, often you're just recording by yourself in the booth. This is the only time that we really get to get out there and like live in the world that we're a small part of creating. So that's the number one, is getting to meet people.
Right. Okay. You mentioned role playing a couple of times. Were you a big D&D kid?
I was a big Magic the Gathering kid growing up. As an elder millennial 90s kid, that hit perfect time. So I was big into Magic the Gathering. I played a lot of BattleTech with my dad as well. Weirdly enough, I didn't get into D&D until college. I was working at a Shakespeare festival, and one day this older dude who I thought was super cool, I was like 19 at the time, so everybody was older. He was probably 25. He was like, "Hey man, after Antony and Cleopatra, you know, that's our last Saturday night show. We have Sunday off. Would you like want to play Dungeons and Dragons?" I was like, I've always heard of it. It seems cool. I've never done it though, so I can't. And he was like, "Well, no, just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you can't do it. Do you want to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll try." Rest of the summer from like 11:45 p.m. until 5 o'clock in the morning, every Saturday night, we were just rocking and rolling. That was my D&D intro.
Hell yeah. Okay. Tell me about your first character. Would you roll up there, bud?
He was, I even this many years later, his name was Fearavin Keth. I can't remember the specific. My buddy got so excited that people wanted to play. He literally called his girlfriend back home, and she sent him boxes of all of his books. His like real. There's my Metal Gear Solid ringtone. I apologize.
Love it.
It's nerdy up in here. It's nerdy up in here. Before the PDF days, before D&D Beyond, she just had to send him all of his books. So I can't remember what race it was. It was this kind of winged bird people who you got kicked out of the nest and kind of had to go on a spirit journey. So other than that, he was Legolas because I was 19 and I was an idiot. He was an archer. He was soft-spoken. So yeah, ranged attacks, and I would jump up in the air and flap and get advantage on my archery rolls because I had the high ground all the time. So that was my guy.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. I love it. Okay. Now in addition to being a radio personality and big time nerd as well, I am also a planeswalker. So
incredible.
Are you I see that you have a voice credit on a Final Fantasy game. Are you digging the new Final Fantasy set?
They are so beautiful. I will admit that, as you can see, amongst my various hobbies, I have to put my hand up when I see these new MTG sets because, you know, I'm scale, baby. I can't be buying all these amazing, beautiful things. That's kind of the worst thing about being in nerddom right now is like, at least back in the day, it was a little bit shuttled off to the side, so there wasn't a ton of stuff to covet. Now it's just like, oh my God, I want all the things.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't dipped my toe. I know this con is probably going to be the time somebody is going to have a table and have a commander deck and I'm gonna buy it, and then I'm done, and then I'm done. I'm toast. It's over.
Right. The cardboard crack, it don't come cheap. I
Oh, the smell. Oh, that laminated paper, baby.
right. I will say, as a guy who is also very much on a budget, MTG Arena has been a godsend. I am mostly free to play on that one, and it scratches that itch big time.
Nothing wrong with that. I have that loaded on my iPad, and I have dropped a couple hours into that, and very much enjoyed tapping that mana. It does. It scratches the itch for sure.
Right. You
Yeah,
also had a very iconic voice role in DC's Dark Legion. You did Clark Kent, aka Superman. Man,
the
that's a
big
pretty huge
guy.
one.
Yeah, that was yeah, every job is yeah, as an actor and you understand as a gig itinerant gig worker that I am, every job is exciting because it's a job and it's not guaranteed, but there are definitely some emails that come through that make you absolutely lose your mind and maybe have to excuse yourself and go to the restroom at the class you're supposed to be teaching because you need to hyperventilate for 10 minutes. Couldn't be me. But yeah, that was a big one for sure. Getting to do the guy was the honor of a lifetime and so much fun.
Do you still have a white whale role out there?
That's a great question. I am lucky enough to have worked on a lot of white whale projects. Like Final Fantasy was very important to me growing up. I've got to do that. I've been in a Star Wars project. I've got a DC. So I'm doing pretty good with my Infinity Stones at this point. It's not even for this is different for everybody, but for me, there's no iconic role, there's no poster of a character that I'm like one day. It's just wanting to keep, playing in worlds that are as exciting as the world I've gotten to continue to play in. I think
Very
that's what it
cool.
is for me. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So this all had to start somewhere, man. When did you get bit by the acting bug?
I was doomed from the start. I've kind of never wanted to do anything else or really expressed any any skills in any other facet of my life. So good thing this worked out so far. My parents met doing a play in college. Community theater was like our childhood activity as opposed to like sports until I was in high school. So we would just do plays, and I was in a million choirs and played instruments and stuff because my mom's a musician. So when I was a kid actor actually. So my mom would drive me into New York City 2 or 3 times a week, pretty much my whole life to audition for stuff. And I did tons of commercials and a couple of cartoons, and I hosted a show on the Discovery Channel when I was 12. So this has kind of been it. And then I went to college for it and moved out here to Los Angeles and did a lot of TV and film before I started voice acting.
Very cool, man. And you don't seem to have a ton of trauma and damage. So good on you for escaping the child actor curse.
Listen, I always say that it was a lot. Obviously, it was a weird childhood, but my mom was amazing, and always would tag in with me. Hey, do you want to do this? And the answer was always yes. So I got very lucky in that regard. I worked with a lot of great people. I was very well taken care of, which I know is not always the case. So I feel very grateful for that. I have a lot of good memories of that as opposed to bad ones.
Oh yeah, but my kids are theater kids too, man. So
Incredible.
yeah, they were never particularly into sports or anything like that, but performance, go figure. Given who their dad is,
No great surprise.
they do
Yeah.
love the spotlight. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a great activity. It's community, and you can learn all sorts of other skills. There's so many roles in the theater, costumes and music and set design and all the other things. So it's a really nice activity for kids, I think, and it's fun. It's a fun activity for adults too.
Yeah, 100%. Well, okay, strike is a little tough, but
Strike is a tough one. Yeah, that's a rough day. Yeah, at the same Shakespeare festival I played D&D at, that last Sunday before you fly home was always the strike for all the non-equity company members, and who boy, you earned all $250 of that weekly paycheck back in 2005, let me tell you, because they worked you for 14 hours breaking down sets and throwing stuff in dumpsters.
so as a guy who spent some time doing the Shakespearean thing, do you have a favorite Shakespeare quote?
Ooh, this is a great one. I love this. A favorite Shakespeare quote. There are so many that are like uplifting, and all the ones that I like are on the. I'm kind of like a dark Shakespeare guy. I like all the. I'm not as much into the comedies as I am into the other stuff. So there's definitely weird stuff I say in context, either to myself or out loud. I think every time one of my dogs like disobeys me or doesn't want to cuddle with me, I say, "Oh, how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child," which is from King Lear. And another King Lear one I love is reason not the need. Our basest beggars are in their poorest things superfluous, which I always say when I'm talking to myself and maybe I want a little treat or I want to buy myself a Magic the Gathering card. Do I need it? No. Reason not the need. I don't need it. I just want it. So I just have, I guess, all petty, dark Shakespeare quotes. Sorry, no lovely ones.
I might lift that last one, man. I struggle with doing nice things for myself. That's a solid one, dude.
The next time our basest beggars are in their poorest things superfluous. You don't need it. You want it, and that's enough.
Perfect. I love it. Exactly. I'm here for it, man. So, have you visited the thriving metropolis of Lansing before? Have you spent any time in the great state of Michigan?
I have spent some time in the great state of Michigan. I have never been to Lansing, though. I have some family elsewhere in Michigan that I have visited on numerous occasions, which I have always enjoyed. I'm from Pennsylvania originally. Very, I love going to Michigan in the summer because it reminds me of home. So I'm really excited to be in Lansing in the summer. It's green. It's a little humid, which I don't mind because I don't have to deal with it every day. Sorry, Lansing. I live in the desert, so it's a novelty for me.
Right.
But it's very green and lush, and it just really feels like it's got that Americana summer vibe that I grew up with. So super excited to be there in July, which is 100%.
It's going to be. It'll be humid for sure. The air will be thick enough to where you might need gills to breathe it. But
yeah. I'm staying at the same hotel as the con, so there you go.
Easy enough.
I'm not even going to go outside.
In the event, so when you do get the opportunity to explore a new city, if you get a little downtime, what's the first thing you like to check out?
Oh, coffee, always. I'm always looking for just like, okay, like I go on Instagram or I go on Google Maps or I read some articles and just check social media. Maybe I talk to friends like you. Just be like, okay, where's the spot? Where can I get a good cup of coffee? Where can I get a latte or something? And then it's basically just from there. Okay, cool. What if I wanted a beer? Okay, cool. What if I wanted a bite? And I just walk in concentric circles eating things, basically. And I always like to try to check out a museum if I can. That's a really good barometer of a city for me. Is I try and see what their museum scene is like.
Oh man, you're gonna love it here. I do hope you get some downtime. Lansing has quite a bit to explore. It just radiating out from the Lansing Center. The R.E. Olds Museum is right down basically a block away.
I'm writing this down. Amazing.
So Lansing is the home. It was the one-time home of the Oldsmobile company,
Incredible,
right? So yeah, so you'll see just so much automotive history there, right?
Great.
So yeah, R.E. Olds Museum, maybe a block away from the Lansing Center.
Gonna go
for a great cup of coffee. I like Blue Owl. That's a really good one. And Strange Matter is fantastic too.
Excellent.
Those you might want to catch a lift unless you are just dying to get all your steps in.
I'm a reformed New Yorker, so that's the other thing I like about a city is I do love to walk. I love to hit a city and walk around. When I did Helldivers, we shot that in Stockholm, in Sweden. And my favorite memory of that, obviously, other than what an amazing time I had shooting, was just the way it works is that they kind of do all the scanning on day one, and there's usually a day or two off because all the data has to process. So literally, I rolled up, I did a day of taking pictures of my face for 7 hours, and I went, okay, what's next? And they went, well, it's Tuesday, we'll see you on Friday. I went, what am I supposed to do? And they're like, I don't know, here's a bunch of stuff you can do in Stockholm. And I just 25K steps a day, walk through the city for the rest of the week, and it was amazing. So looking forward to doing that, maybe a little of that in Lansing too.
There you go, man. Well, I hope the air's not too thick that day.
Yeah, I'll bring my scuba gear.
There you go. It can be a bit of a hike for sure. Craig, I got one more question for you before I turn you loose on the hell diving and all that you're up to.
Back on, exactly. Yeah.
Damn straight. So, Craig, what's in your playlist, man? What do you like to listen to?
Well, I gotta say, I just put the cue on because I was like, all right, I gotta do a vibe check on these guys. First song that came up, Crazy Train, Randy Rhoads on that Ibanez. Poof, I was like, yeah, there we go. I'm a classic rock kid from day one. Rock 107 was my station back in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. That was, put it on and turn the knob, crank the knob off. Was definitely always Rock 107. So yeah, classic rock, love Foreigner, loved Ozzy back in the day, obviously. And right now I listen to a lot of, I don't know, other LA stuff, whatever kind of comes around. I like to throw on Pandora and find some new stuff.
Oh yeah, man. Very cool. Well, you're going to have a fantastic time. Wait, I think my camera froze. It's fine. I'll replace it with a graphic. Dude, you're going to have a fantastic time exploring the thriving metropolis of Lansing. And hey, now you know what station to tune into when you get here. That is
it.
That is Craig Lee Thomas. Catch him at Capital City Comic Con. It's coming your way fast, man. Mid-July at the Lansing Center. Get all the deets at q106fm.com. Craig, thank you so much for hanging, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Terry.
Michigan's rock station. Q106.